Demos. Oh, Jean-Philippe has a demo. Right? You had a demo. You said you wanted to do a demo. Status topics. We'll see. So status option 1. What happened? Some PRs were merged. So this was more than a week ago. Added a filter for projections over string fields. It's a new filter in projection for words instead of just I don't know what was there, but it's a new parameter, contains any word if any is provided. Yeah, you can paste multiple words that will be split by space. One 10x, and then using single FcnMode, this is optimization to set the FcnMode to single for the file system watchers to improve performance. And there is some explanation about which values you should use, and this step will update it automatically when you deploy the web app in release. Okay, so these are the two changes on option 1. Orchard core. What do we have here? The dev branch is the blue one, and we have fix regression from Jasmin when it changed the content type filter names, temporary fix for default feature settings, so we will forget about it because we changed it. Fixing non-awaiting async calls. So the issue here was that in this case here, this is a bad pattern. By doing a for each on an async, we are just starting new tasks which might be processed in parallel, and then could lead to concurrency issues in this case, because it was not supposed to be used concurrently. So the solution is to call await on each method call and not do a for each with an async task. It will build, but it will behave not as expected at runtime. So never do that. So here, that's one occurrence. There must have been some others here also. So bad. Yep. I wonder who wrote this code. And I don't think it's me. That's weird. Why? Where is this coming from? And something else here. Nope, here is just formatting. But that's interesting. Oh, attach media field. Is it Matthias maybe in this case? Or did he copy paste the code somewhere? We should have seen that on review. Oh, maybe that's Matthias. Okay, because the two instances here, this is admin menu, navigation provider coordinator. It might be Matthias, and this might be Matthias. Okay, that would make sense that this is from the same author because it's the same pattern, and I've never seen it before in the code. I must have missed it in the review, so we'll need to ping Matthias for that. So he doesn't do it anymore. Just needs to know about how it works. Yeah, because it compiles and it usually works, but until it doesn't work anymore. That's okay. Good. And good catch from Jean-Thierry. Then this one, fix bootstrap confirm dialog with submit buttons. Okay. One was broken. Dev branch fix edit template dropdown style in RTL. So apparently it was wrong in RTL. another Task.WhenAll usage. So in the tangent here we try to find all the ways we could do async wrong, and here, so this is me, but I don't think it's wrong. Unless for security he doesn't want to run it concurrently, and that's fine. Okay, he's just making it serial. Okay, that's okay. Custom settings deployment source, yeah, probably a good thing. Well, whatever, that's always good to do it non-concurrently. So this one too. This one is, so this one though should go await, definitely. Yep, so and this one, he makes it with a wait also to prevent it from being, yeah, there might be an issue here because if it's using the session, it's doing database access, it might be, it's not concurrent, so we should await for it. Okay, that's good. So he fixed all the occurrences of bad calls to WhenAll, when it could lead to issues. In this case also we are building, yeah, that's probably me also here, the issue being that build display async might rely on other database access that are not thread safe, so he's just making it more thread safe. Okay, good job. And also in the workflows when we render the activity display. Okay, good. And no one on RazorViewImportedTypeConflict. Okay, so if there is a type conflict, it's not displaying a warning because it's not expected. Well, it's an expected conflict. And then the last merge in dev is, I merged the PR from Matthias, a ManageHttps permission to be able to manage HTTPS, the settings. Okay. HTTPS settings display driver to hide and show the menu item, and also to prevent usage of the driver directly. Good thing. Questions? Okay, so let us know when you are ready to do the demo. So otherwise, what do we have in the PRs? Lots of PR from Jasmin. Or we can look at the branches we did. So on Friday, that I know is what we did with Jasmin and Jean-Thierry, is that we refactored the culture settings. So there were some inconsistencies and complexities in the culture settings. So we fixed it and also fixed the UI. Maybe I can show it, because it might be already loaded. So orchard and let me check I'm on the correct branch, but I think so. I am. Just to show the UI. and the new services, and actually it will be new also maybe for Raspan because I did some factoring. Or maybe I should update it because I think maybe Jasmine did some things. Yes, he did. Too many things. What did he do? JS changes.
I worked on the Vue.js component.
Okay. Good. So I will update that. Restarting because maybe I'm missing some things. So going in the admin, now the localization settings for the culture and the supported cultures are not in the general settings anymore. They're in the localization tab here because they come from the localization feature. And it looks like this. It's wrong. Oh, I have a corrupted database again. Is that
no, you need to refresh your JavaScript, I think.
Okay, so it's fixed. So now there is always a default culture, and the default culture is always part of the supported cultures. You can add as many supported cultures as you want from there, and you select the default culture by going there. So like here, I chose the French culture, okay, but I'm using currently the English culture because my browser said no, I must be using the French culture right now, but it's in English because I don't have the French language. But if I select Arabic and I save, then it won't find the translations for Arabic, but it knows that Arabic is right to left language, so now everything is on the right. If I add the Arabic localization file, it will pick it up. Also, if I ask for a culture that doesn't exist, that is not supported, it will fall back to Arabic, okay, because it's a default. And what was the other example I wanted to show? Like, because I have ENUS, I don't remember that it should use ENUS if it's part of the supported culture. So if I say English, so I will go back to left to right first, so I can read correctly. And if I say English, in English here, can I say ENUS to be sure that it will work?
Maybe you could switch your culture in your browser.
No, I won't do it because I will break my browser after. So I will add it. So it's a supported culture, okay, and the default is French. But if I go here, oh, I didn't save. That's very bad. Save. But now, because it's a supported culture, it should be taking. Oh, let's see if it works. If I go here on top of the page and I say at current system. Oh, I need to be here just to see system.culture. Globalization culture info current culture dot name. So I will display the current culture. ENUS. So you see now, even though the default is FR, because my browser sends accept ENUS, and it's a supported culture, it will fall back to ENUS. So everything works. To change the default here, you can save it. Okay, again, because my browser asks for ENUS and it's a supported one, it will pick up ENUS. If I remove ENUS, it's back to Arabic because my browser asks for ENUS. It's not a supported culture, so let's go back to the default one, which is Arabic. Okay, so that works very well. And what should I see, Jasmin? I don't see anything.
I just made the list to be in view, so you can click on the Add Culture button multiple times, and it will remove the culture that have been added on the list. So, yeah. And the opposite, if you're removing one from the list, it will.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. So it removes it from the list. Didn't we say we didn't want that? For a reason?
I don't know why we could.
Or maybe it was because we will have to reload the page and then, okay, I see. So maybe now because it's a view, it will work. Okay, I see.
Yeah, we have it. So I just changed it, having the supported culture in that list, so we can filter by when we load the page, it's going to filter that list with what we have.
Okay, good. So that's it. And then in terms of API, when you want to know the current culture, you get a dependency on localization.abstraction, and there is a iLocalization. No, you don't depend on the localization abstractions, which are for the localization module. You can go in Orchard Core, abstractions, localization, the same way we have a calendar manager. We have a localization service, which can give you the get default culture async and the get supported culture async. Okay, it will always have a value, and you will get something that that is a string, and then this is not used. I should remove it. I thought I needed it at some point, but I don't. I have two methods here. So you just resolve this service and you will get it. And the default implementation gives you the system culture and also for the supported culture is just the system one. That's it. That's what it gives you. But when you enable the localization module, then you can define which ones are valid in the settings. We just need to remove this file. I'll commit later. That's it for this change, and that should simplify and prevent any bugs. And it's less code, it's better, less bugs. It's all beautiful. How do I quit that? Here. Now, Jean-Philippe, ready? You can share. We can't hear you. I think I was on the window. Oh, if you are using remote desktop, you need to join from the local machine, and this is what I'm doing. I join the meeting from my local machine, and then I remote desktop to the other machine. Okay. In the meantime, I will check out something and show you what's happening. Permission denied. What? Because of that, probably. again. Permission denied. Why? But it created. Let's see if it works.
Does it work now?
It works. So I'll switch to you.
No, I can't hear you guys.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Wait. Okay. Oh, there you go.
Good. Okay, now you can share.
Yeah. 1 second. All right. Where's the share button again? Here. Share screen. Does this work? It might be a little slow. Can you see it?
Not yet, but I can. Yeah, I can see, and everyone can see now.
Okay, so I'll go slow like last time. So I just want to demo a module that I built last week. It's basically integrating form.io into a part so that you can use form.io to build forms in Orchard. Yeah, and then hook it up to our workflow. So I'll just show a simple form, and yeah, that's about it. I can rename this if I open source this. I will rename it, but it's just a simple form module.
Can you show us form.io first?
Form.io? Yeah, I can. Oh, this thing is in the way. Ah.
Yeah, I have the same issue all the time.
The tab is in the way. So form.io, it's this one.
So it's a JavaScript thing?
Yeah, so it's a JavaScript form builder. It can do, I didn't do wizard or PDF yet.
Okay.
I only did the form integration right now.
Does anyone want to say something about it? Not you, but anyone else? Just to see if people have comments before you start. Nobody has anything to say about it. Antoine.
We have the flows, but
no.
Yeah.
Antoine, what do you think? Because I know Antoine comes at every meeting. Just most of them. And Gabor writes about every meeting, so Gabor should know also. So Antoine, what do you want to say?
It looks like the layout.
Nope. That's not what I mean. Okay. Gabor, you have to know. Maybe Gabor is not listening. Okay. So
what do you mean?
What?
Do you mean the flow part?
Nope, that's not what I wanted to hear. Oh my god, I feel so alone now. Okay, go. So I will tell you, Philippe, because you are like, well, I think, and I'm almost 99% sure that someone made that module,
okay,
Forms.io, 2 months ago, and showed it during the meeting. And they also integrated it in the front end to create custom profiles module. We'll see later. I will show you the PR and the repository. But let's see with your module to see what it does.
Okay. Yeah. So okay. I showed form.io base quickly there. I can't do this.
We saw that. That's nice.
Okay. So form builder, right? So when you enable this module, it creates a type and a part. So if I go to content definition, I have a simple form type. I made it like this because I wanted to create the form separately from my types and reference them into multiple types. So I'd have one form that I can put into many pages. Instead of doing a widget, but I could add a widget. It would work the same way basically. So when you create a new simple form, you just give it a name, my form. The action will be for the workflow, method post get. I copied this from the form module, these two inputs, and then you get the form IO. One thing that you might notice is that the icons here are broken. This is because form IO, I had to revert back to not using SVG for font awesome, because it would break the little helpers in here. So if this was using SVG using font awesome v5, and I think they use font awesome v4, but anyway, all the little helper buttons and this button, they were all broken. And also for when you add a dropdown, so if you add a select box, it would break this handle and it would look terrible. This button wouldn't work. So anyway, so basically it's just like using form IO. You create a text field, and I don't know. I did a frog content type just for fun. I don't know why. And then if you go to API, you can set the name of the property that will come back in the JSON. So when you post to the workflow, this is the name of the property. So I'm just going to put name, and then I drag a text area, and I'll keep it really simple for now. Description, I could do more, but it's basically just form IO, right? Some of the options in here are not relevant. Like if you scroll down to the bottom here, you get some stuff about persistent server client or table view, but this is when you integrate with FormIO's backend, like their API. Since we're not, well, some of these options are not being used. I could try to find out if I could hide them somehow, but I didn't bother yet. So for now, it's just the name, description, the form post. I'll leave the action blank for now, and I'll just go and publish this. And if I go back to the content item and view it, I'll view it in another tab if I can. Yeah, okay. So there you go. You have a form, and then if you type submit, you can see that I did not specify the action. So I made this little, pretty print of what gets passed to the API so that developers can see what's coming up. So this is stuff that's provided by FormIO, and I called the key to wrap those submission.
So far?
Yeah, so it's all JS. The FormIO works with doing an AJAX request. So when you, like right now, it's not submitting anything because I didn't set the action in my form here. So since the action is blank, I made this helper that would display it. And also the reason I did it like this with submission and request verification token was I was having issue in the workflow validating the request verification token when I sent everything as JSON. So to get around it, I send it as, like, this is not how it's actually sent. It's sent as an encoded string. So submission is a string. And then in my workflow, I go and I parse it. So yeah, so I'll go and I already create the workflow for it, since I think most of us know how to create a workflow. But basically the form submitted, HTTP request event, and I'm going to copy this URL. Okay, copy, and I'm going to go paste it. Well,
and there should be, you see here, validate anti-forgery token. If you want for your demos, you can uncheck it, and then the request anti-forgery token won't be checked.
No, it works now. I fixed it, but,
okay. But
I was having an issue before. So okay, so if I copy, yeah, because I tried it, I uncheck it and it worked, and oh, that's the issue. Okay, save. So okay, here the second one, I like to use just a script task. So I do everything in a script. So I created this global method, that basically just does a JSON parse on the key that you pass here. So when if you remember here, I called it submission. So this is a string that contains all of this data here, this object, I mean, and I do a JSON parse. So form data will have this shape, and then I set the property. Okay, I didn't really need to, but anyway, do some validation. That's something I want to integrate in the future with the form.io validation, but I didn't have time yet. So I would create another workflow task that would take the definition in the form.io JSON. So let's say a field is required, or it has a min length, or it has some kind of regex, then it would validate it.
In the same way, you could have a custom workflow script that will pre-create an object with the...
Yes, like do this here in a task as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for now, like for my testing, I did it like
Okay,
this.
yeah.
And then I used the create content item with a name and description, set the display text as well. Okay, so anyway, that's all I did. And then you have a 200 or 400, basically I did it like this with text plain. So some text here, I might change that. It was just to show that it worked. So when there's an error, so let's say I leave the name blank, it's going to show this text. And then this is not done yet, but in the success, it would be the same. But right now I hard code the text in the backend, in the JavaScript, I mean. But technically, it should come from here. That's a small change. So if I go back to my form, this one, and I edit, paste this workflow URL. Whoops, I should have just clicked publish. Then view. So if I submit without anything, it should return the error that we saw in the workflow. If not, my name, description, and then, yeah, see this hard-coded, so I said like, oh, I need to localize it. And
I didn't see the URL change, so it's still in an Ajax call?
The URL change, what do you mean? Yes, it's all Ajax for now.
How do you render the notification?
It's JavaScript. Form.io.
I see. You made a custom.
Form.io.
I see.
Yeah, Form.io has it built in. So there's a method that, if I just look at the simple, so create form. So when it come back, I think, well, that's not here, it's here. Set alert. So they have this built in, and I think it's just render a bootstrap alert, right? And I do the same thing here. Show error. It comes from Form.io. Yeah. So it works. It's all Ajax, and yeah, we're gonna try to use it in an application soon.
Cool. So now let's see what I will share my screen and see what Matt Kenny did with it, because we had a demo and he updated it 6 hours ago, so it's still active project.
Okay.
I assume you can see my
I can see
screen.
I think I saw this one. I look at it, but it was very, yes, there was a lot of code for it. And I was able to do it with almost no code.
Yeah, the question is, what are all the features he's doing with it? That's the question. He also made a profile module.
Yeah.
And I think we have a PR for that. I need to verify. I don't remember how it is related to the Forms.io module. Maybe it is not, but I know they asked me some questions about it. I have to check. I have to look at that. What's the status of that?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what he did with it.
Yeah, and he demoed it during a meeting. I don't remember exactly all the features.
Okay, so for me, it's no feature. It's just adding that
Yeah.
editor. Right?
So, and now we have two people who made the same module with the same thing. I'm starting to care about it because if usually like people ask questions, oh, how should I do that, and they are fine with whatever we have. But if people take the time to build a new module, then that must be quite important. Why did you do that instead of the default forms module we have?
It was easier to build a complex form, and so we're going to build an application soon that will have a lot of forms, and I thought it was easier to just use this to create the forms and then post to workflow and then do the like custom logic there, instead of having to use the form modules. It's a little easier to create the form. That was the only reason.
Okay, and I see it's JavaScript also. That might be easier.
Yeah, so before this, I created another module. I don't know if you saw my solution, but it was just forms. So a simpler version of the form module. Just so like I had the label and everything was all tied together, so you could just create a text input and put the label placeholder instead of having to use the flow part with different elements. I don't know. Maybe it's just a preference of how to build the form in the backend or something.
Okay. Okay. I'll follow that. We also have a PR with the profile module. And you see he extended the profile module to show. So the idea of the profile module was to have an extensible way with drivers for users to be able to render the editor and the display for a user on the front end. So you can customize your own profile. And one of the driver implemented for, as an example, is using his own forms module to display the submitted forms. So you see here the user can have his own form, and I assume that might be also what you want to do. Like each user can provide, if you have many forms, like can save the data and maybe reload it and see what has been submitted.
Yeah, that might be one of the requirements. So I'm gonna mostly it's like to participate in hackathon and judge and other things, but yeah, it'll show in the front end as well.
Yeah, that's a typical usage with forms, record management. So your editors can create custom forms, and then the users can submit them, and you add validations and multi-step forms, and you can recall what you submitted, and then on the back end you could list all the submissions for each user. So
yep.
That's typical usage. Maybe you should look into that. I tried it over here. It's buggy. Yeah, but at the same time, the Zipke build, it's just a set of widgets with form elements. So if it's buggy, it's not Zipke, it's maybe our editor forms, the flow part and everything. We have to check.
And the wizard form, I don't know if you tried the FormIO wizard, but it's pretty nice. You can create a multi-step form very easily.
With Forms.io, okay.
Yeah.
And
so
all in JavaScript, so it loads the forms once,
yep.
and it steps through the different forms locally.
Yep. So it's a one big JSON really.
Okay.
So my part, what it does, it renders the FormIO, and they have a way to a hook to every time something change, I sync it with a hidden input, and then that hidden input is mapped to like it's a JSON field in the my part name. My part has a JSON field. So, and I looked, the part of FormIO that I used is only the builder and the front end part, which is MIT. Their backend, so it's a Node API, is I think BSD something. So yeah, you have to go to, I can paste you the link here, this one. I don't know if it's useful to someone else. Worst case, I can publish it as a module on my own. Like I'll ask my my supervisor if that's okay. But yeah.
Yeah, not the same one.
So if you in that drop down you do the wizard, and you can see, like, you can add pages at the top there, and you can have custom logic that display, like you can skip a page, and you can do all sorts of fancy logic.
So that's how it's stored. That's what you load, so that the JavaScript can render that. It's kind of what we already do with the flow part. We have this tree hierarchy of widgets with properties, and we could have a page element that a form will just render one and things like this. What we don't have is hooks in JavaScript. That could be one thing. What I see also we don't have is this kind of editor. Today it's add. You select an item and it adds where. It's not like drag and drop.
Yeah. Like
this.
But this made me think a bit of the Orchard one. There was an advanced form there, right? The like dynamic form or something. What's it called? It's similar, but
okay. Layout column fields. Okay. This also kind of have.
So this, I think they're working on a new version that will allow to easily modify the front end look and feel, and the builder as well. I'm not 100% sure, but because right now it's a bootstrap tree, I think.
Okay, it's broken. I broke the thing.
Oh no.
I'm stuck. I can't do anything else. You see, I can't save, can't sell, I can't close. I don't know.
Strange.
Okay, we need to look into it. Good, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. If it's useful to anyone, I can always open source it.
Okay, it's recorded, so people might ping you on GitHub or Gitter, and we need to look also at the current PR, what it does compared to what you did. If we can integrate something in common, that would make sense. Trying to understand. I don't like to have two different modules, so if we need to choose one and to see the pros and cons, unless they do different things, and then we can use different modules. That's fine. We can call it differently. Yep. Or try to see what's missing in our own module compared to the experience that we have in Form.io, and try to do the same thing. If it's just form building UI, like we can make it better. We can make the custom flow part for a form part that will provide building tools like this to do that. We need to think about it. Okay, good. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
And on that one, Git check out what was the branch. That's sad. So I will just show I wanted to trade, but I can't check out the thing, so I will just show you what James did, because it looks awesome, and maybe there is a way. He did that. So how is it called? It's called GraphiQL-explorer, which adds a pane to GraphiQL on the left. So we have that. Okay, we can type queries and run the GraphQL queries directly, and we have auto completion. But GraphiQL-explorer will use the metadata to list all the available properties and filters that you can use and types, and you just click and enter the values directly from there, from this tree view, extended tree view, and that will build a query for you. And you see here it shows you exactly. Let me show you another screenshot. With this one, you can even build our custom language for filtering directly from the left tree view here with all available things. So you don't have to type to see all the available things and to autocomplete. It lists everything. Like for the author field, all the variants, the variations for the filters, and you also have directly the types you can filter, paging, and yeah, it's quite impressive. All based on metadata. So you can build a query like this and then run it to see the result. So that's super nice. I wanted to play with it, but I can't check out the branch. I have to check what's wrong with my system. Looks very nice. Are the permissions enforced with the GraphQL module? Nope. I don't think they are because it can render other things than content items, but maybe we can extend it to do that. The issue is we start having issues with paging, because when you page something that is secure, then you might not have the number of items you want, because you ask for 10 items and you can only see 8 or 1 or 0, but you still have more pages, so it's very hard to handle. And otherwise, another solution which will work much better would be to, on the content items themselves, to create an index of the roles that can see them. So when you query, you could say query, but filter the ones that this user or this role cannot see. But for that we will need a custom index to do that. That would be the best option, because that will then work with Lucene and with GraphQL, with SQL, so you can filter the content items you want to query with the roles. Yeah, that's the idea. Good. Okay, so questions? Perfect. I still have lots of work to merge PRs. And I'll see how I can fix it, if not by just asking everyone to merge their own PRs if they think it's ready and there are no issues. We'll talk about it maybe Thursday. So thanks everyone. See you on Thursday for the triage, or next Tuesday for the next meeting. Bye-bye.
Bye.